To make a well-structured destiny, we need to put effort on present action points. With this quote, I am Parag Rai from a beautiful temple city of Odisha, welcoming all of you today to the third episode of season 1 of Me Time Talks with Parag. Well, what thoughts you are having in your mind right now when I am uttering the word rules? Don't you think it's maybe about a brochure containing on all the regulation and norms when you are joining your colleges, or any kind of mail that is comprised of rules and regulation to join a first company after your college, maybe kind of restriction, do's or don'ts that you should not do when reimbursing anything from your company or organizations? It would be of course yes. So such questions are got stuck in two prominent researchers. One person is Marcus Buckingham and the other one is Kurt Kaufman. When they thought about some way these rules and regulations are really necessary to maintain and make a seamless and a flawless process to achieve one proper goal. But sometime currently, most of the time in workplace, people are facing really big challenges to be happy, to handle with their workload or stress. So the main factor for it is the way they are being managed or led. To find the better way and to understand how in most of the places, most of the team, people are really happy meeting their goals and they are really happy about the way they are being led and managed. So they found and they thought, Marcus and Kaufman, something is really there with the managers. They are really using some tips and tricks to manage their team, to handle both of the happiness index of the team, along with that, the profitability index of their company by delivering perfectly on the time. So they have done a bit of research work. In a part of that research work, they met 80,000 managers over the globe through the interviews, through calls, mails on a particular question, what exactly they are doing differently in terms of handling the teams, because they want to understand, they want to know that knowledge and they want to share throughout the globe. So that come out with a beautiful book called First Break All the Rules. So I read the books, it was amazing with lot of content. So today's session, I'll give you the gist that I understood from that book. You will listen to it, no need to read the complete entire book, and this summary will definitely help you with the strongest point and the gist that I am going to share with you from that particular book. So this session will discuss about 6 points. The first one, what action point from a manager perspective need to be done to handle a proper team. Next, 4 points are the 4 keys that the authors is suggesting by taking the insights from those 80 managers and the greatest among them who were applying and applying those tricks and procedures to make everything in a proper shape. And the 6th one, that is a magic wand. I will tell how to use this particular thing according to my suggestion to all of you. So let's start. So what exactly according to you a manager is? If you will ask me, it can be anything. It can be a chai bala Anna who is preparing a chai. He is managing 2 people, one person who will making everything ready, one person who will be cleaning the stuff. He is a manager. One manager, my PG owner as well, he is managing 3 people. One is a sweeper, another one is a cook, and third one is kind of a caretaker to everybody's personal stuff. So he is also a manager. Manager should not be a corporate word which will be placed in a company and he is managing 100 or 200 people. No, everybody in their everyday's life is single individual managers. So to perform one activity, we need few people under us who will delegate the works, who can do some part of that work and meet the objective. So to a manager, you need to be a catalyst. You should not be a boss or a leader. Catalyst means you should show the followers the direction, the way they should perform their task. That's it. You need to sit aram se on your chair and just have a look if all the sub tasks are being performed properly or not. So this, according to me, and the author is mentioning the same thing, managers would be a catalyst of a process. Now after that, how you will come to know that the employees that are working for you and the people that you are leading to them, they are happy or not, and they are properly performing their task or not. And the author suggested 5 beautiful questions that you just sit aram se and you just ask yourself how these people are getting whatever they are expecting to. So they have suggested 4 segments of questions, where the first segment is talking about the employee should ask themselves, what do I get out of it? Second, what do I give to the team? Third, do I belong here? Fourth, how can we grow here? Every employee and the person who join any company, they should have a perception to what I'm going to get out of here along with my money. So if I'm getting a proper KT, any kind of proper work would be given to me, the equipment and resources or any infrastructure, you can consider laptop, desktop, mobile phone, other stuff I'll get or not, or any better opportunity I will get or not. So these 4-5 questions is coming under this. The second one, what do I give? If there is a proper task has been assigned to me or not, any kind of responsibility, special responsibility is there for me or not. These kind of questions is coming under the second category. And the third and fourth one is talking about the family atmosphere. Do I belong here? Suppose you need to check like your employee, do you have your best friend or best colleague with whom you need to share what happened in the last weekend, what shopping you have done for your sister's wedding. Those kind of emotions need to be created in your workplace and in you among your employees that you are working with. So these are the main questions. These are the key factors and tricks that you can check whether your employees and who are working along with you, they are happy or not. If they are getting all the answers correctly and positively for all these questions that I have mentioned, then you will feel free like, okay, you are a good manager and your employees are happy that the way you are leading to them. So ask these 12 questions, and of course at last check on that, how can they grow? Are you providing the solution or scope for them to grow, right? Because everybody wants to grow after a certain period of time. So check on that as well. So but after this, what about the first key that I just mentioned to check to perform as a best managers? Because those greatest managers I was talking about, they have suggested it. So to be a good delivery person, you need to have a good team, and for a good team you need to identify a proper talent, right? So let's talk about the next 4 keys in terms of a story. I'll give a story, an example of my particular life example, you can say. In one particular CSR activity, I have given one task to plant 10 to 15 trees in 2 days, right? In a certain amount of time period was there, 2 to 3 hours, 2 days, I have to perform that. So in that particular case, I should have done, I should select a people and the best talent in the market who for plantation a tree, who would be best in digging the ground, who would be best in selecting the proper seeds for the plant, who would be best in watering the plant. These are the factors and the roles that I need to identify a person in terms of talent, not in terms of experience, right? It's a huge difference. An example, currently I found an experiencing I got an example from other colleagues from working in a big companies. So according to him, like the people, even if they are not having competency enough to perform one certain task, because they had given that task to perform because they are having experience in some certain areas. But even though there is a competent employee who can perform one certain task, having a less experience, he is not given opportunity. This practically and prominently proves the managers is not competent enough in terms of educated enough in terms of handling a team and the talent. You have to educate your manager in this particular case. So If we're talking about the select the talent over the experience, even if the experience is lesser, then how you are going to select those talents is a very simple point that authors are suggesting. There are three kind of talents for a particular task. Suppose to planting a tree I mentioned. So I asked first striving, thinking and relating, three types of talents to identify them. Why a person is needed for this planting a tree? How a person would be identified, how I'll identify a person that he is a better and best in that planting tree. That how I have done that, I just checked out his experience and if he had performed certain kind of task in better way in some other places, so that thing I had done. Same time I had performed who would be the person. Suppose I'm having 2 to 3 options I had, so to whom I need to take care, so that also I performed. I found the best one person who was fitting in talent wise for that thing. So Marcus and Kaufman is suggesting to go with the talent who not on the top of the experience of a particular person's. The second key is about defining the right outcomes. I'll tell you one thing. If you want to manage well, you must understand the management is not about direct controlling anyone, but it's about remote controlling everyone. That is, you must realize that trying to control on every aspect of an employee, that will create very mental stress or disturbances among your mental health of your environment of your team, and which will ultimately impact on your delivery time and output. So in second key, remember, define the outcomes. You need to focus on your outcomes. How? Defining an independent environment for each and every team members where they should be independent to perform their task freely. Right? You should not force them and pinch them each and every time. Why you have done this? Why you have not done this? It's a wrong thing. Kaufman is practically giving an example where he has mentioned, which is aligned to my example as well, what I told, the planting a tree. Suppose one person is taking water from a water source to watering the plant. I will say, why you have taken in that bucket? Why didn't you take in a pipe as well to save the times? No, I would guide that watering person how to effectively saving time to perform that task. Instead of highlighting his fault in that particular case, right? That will create a mental stress and very bitter environment in my team. But the latter one will definitely help him be happy and give him a scope of learning as well, right? So the managers as a catalyst only focus on your outcome by giving an independent environment to each and everyone to perform that task, providing the guidance during the task. Now talking about the third key is the most interesting part, focusing on the strength. How we are going to find strength? What does strength means? If you want to become a great manager, I would tell you to try to release a person's potential, right? You need to identify in your team what exactly a person is carrying a potential. You must be a worker, become more or what they have already are. You must focus on each employee's strengths, on manage around his or her weakness. Maybe each person is different with a unique set of talents, passion, earrings, patterns of behavior. So you need to identify that, and that's the way you need to behave with them. So how you are going to do it? There is a very, very precise and interesting way that I have learned. I am sharing you. You highlight those talent, manage those expectations, award them, reward them, spend most of the time with your best people by understanding their planning, expectations. That's the only way you can do it. And the fourth and most important key is to find the right fit. Here in this chapter, Marcus and Kaufman is mentioning they got a response when they were interviewing one person. They got an example they have cited, for a food restaurant chain, the manager has recruited randomly few people and to start the business so fast and to earn money. So he recruited one people which is not fit for that role, and the person, he's not good at counting the numbers, but he mentioned him and gave him a position for the waiter where you need to count the orders, count the quantity of chicken pieces he want. So afterwards what he found is the person who will give the order, he used to forget the order numbers which has created a lot of customer dissatisfaction and loss to the business. Afterwards, he spent a lot of time to train that person, make him learn about the numbers and replace the person, like so kind of thing, which has created both loss of money, loss of time, and loss of name as well, brand name. This example, what Marcus and Kaufman has cited in his particular book, you believe me, currently I'm finding same kind of situation in most of the companies that I have visited too. So in the fourth key in this chapter, the authors are suggesting find the right fit from the very beginning. Sooner or later, someone who works for you till he wants to grow and to earn. Identify that thing. If someone is not comfortable in one particular place to work, just address that particular issues as a first priority. Give them a scope to grow wherever they want to go and wherever they want to play the roles. That will create a very good happiness index in your team, very good productivity, and of course your delivery won't be affected. So this is the strongest and the fourth interesting point that authors Kaufman and Marcus Buckingham is suggesting. Now, my conclusion is, after all these fourth keys, you should have as a manager as a turning keys. There's the magic key, okay? Like in a 5-star hotel, you will have the master key, right? The one key that manager would have to open if some particular room have the problem, he has the master key to open that room to solve the issues. So that master key you should have as a hotel manager maybe. So the master key is all about this. Now if you'll find across all the industries, all the organizations, everybody is talking about industry 4.0 and business 4.0, where one strong pillar is what? Is agility, is agile. You need to be agile with all sorts of conditions. In this, being a particular team manager and a catalyst, the agile means that you need to handle a lot of people from different generations, different age group. You should be agile enough with your leadership skills, managing team skills in such a way that you can able to use those tools by which you can lead your different generation people the way they want to be led, right? You can talk to them, you be being simple to them. Frequent interaction is of course needed. Focus on the future of your project, your future, and your employees and who are working for you as well. And of course the self-tracking, along with all kind of work related tracking, you need to have a self-tracker as well, whether you are performing your task perfectly or not. Before your team members come to you, suppose one tea maker is there. Earlier I had given an example. So what he has done is he will talk to these two people who are work for them every day for a few minutes to try to get them know what exactly the problem they are having in that particular role. To understand that, okay, you are not happy, okay, fine, I'll give you what you want, you do this and do that for me. This is how from a tea seller, I got to know these particular inputs when I interacted with him and try to match with this particular book conclusion as well. So in conclusion, companies can do a great deal to create a climate in which great managers flourish, of course. Great performance will happen if companies defy conventional wisdom, right? And start turning the 4 keys to performance. So first we define the roles, terms, outcomes. Second is beginning, measuring, and of course the 12th magical questions that we had discussed earlier. So believe me, after reading this book, since then, I am trying to use this kind of skill to manage my team as well, where I'm handling quite a few number of people with me. So do you have a plan to start? I hope by this book review, you have a good insight, the complete book insight and the gist within this 20 minutes. I hope you will be definitely profitable by listening to this book review and book summary. And try to use the skills that we have discussed, tips and tricks. And of course, I will wish you all the very best for your future and the professional career. Be a catalyst, not a manager. So stay tuned to listen more beautiful stories in upcoming weeks with Me Time Talks with Parag. Same time, on the same channel. Stay tuned, stay safe, stay home. Bye-bye, good night.